Good morning. This is June the 5th, Thursday, 2025. We are in BBIS second semester, compulsory English class. We started Unit 6 yesterday. Unit 6 is academic writing. We have a book prescribed in our course. And yesterday I started introducing academic writing. And I tried to make you understand the concept of academic writing by showing you a number of different books on this subject. What I did was I mainly focused on the cover page of the book and picked up key words from the title and explained what the keyword means and what is academic writing. In the same line, you can see here is a book, not for management people, it is for literature students, but it helps us understand what is academic writing. It says, a brief guide to arguing about literature. So, argument is at the heart of academic writing. You cannot imagine an essay in academic writing that does not argue a case. I won't explain to you what is an argument right now. Simply I will say that you make a claim and then you bring your reasons and evidences in support of the claim, and you develop your argumentative essay. One central characteristics of academic writing is that these essays make argument. They make a claim. They say something. The best example are the 3 essays you read in your course in Unit 5 and 4, I guess, on intercultural communication. All these 3 essays make argument. For example, one of the essays says that the present models of intercultural communication are fragmented. Therefore, the writer proposes an integrative model of intercultural communication analysis, right, which has 3 parts. The other essay says that, makes the claim that the main reason why we have conflict in intercultural communication is we fail to understand how our cultural identities are formed, and then explains in detail more than 10 pages about the topic of cultural identity formation, and then argues that if we understand these ideas, we will have a smooth intercultural communication. So all these essays make arguments, and I said academic writing is argumentative writing. Okay, here we have a second book. Academic writing for international students of science. Writing is done by all students. Primarily, academic writing is done by students. Even if you are doing a PhD degree, you are a student. And you do this writing under the guidance of a teacher. And understand that an academic writing assignment is born only when a teacher assigns you. For example, yesterday I said, take this note home and write the assignment. So, have you done the essay I gave yesterday? Have you done the essay? Okay. You were in class yesterday? Yes. Have you done the essay? Okay, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Have you done the essay? Have you done the essay? Good work. Good work. Praiseworthy. You wrote this morning here, quickly, to avoid being admonished by the teacher. Have you done? Okay. Good work. You also have concluding paragraph. Have you done?
I was not present yesterday.
You were not present yesterday? So I have nothing to say. There's nothing to say. You have done? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you done? Yes, I can see yours. Can you keep it in bag? This one is your essay? This one. These are the notes, this is the essay, right? Okay. Good. Have you done? You were absent. What's your name? Saksem. Have you done? Only this much? Okay. Have you done the essay? Okay. Okay. What does the word impact mean? Any idea? What does the word impact mean?
Impact means to make someone understand it very.
Okay, okay. Simply checking if you wrote the sentence. Okay. Have you done? You are absent. Have you done assignment? You are Miss Bhushal? Only one paragraph? 2 paragraphs, okay. Have you done?
Yes, sir. We checked already.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh. Have you done? Why?
Forgot.
You forgot. Oh God. What a surprising answer. Simply, you forgot, right? There is no medicine. There is a word amnesia. A-M-N-E-S-I-A. Amnesia is a disease. It is a disease of forgetting. Have you written the essay?
I took some ideas from the GPT and I wrote it.
You were in class yesterday?
I was.
No?
I was.
You were. Okay. Have you done the essay?
I was not present.
Yusuf?
I wasn't present yesterday.
You were not present.
Yes, sir.
Where had you gone?
So to the dentist. I have some.
Dentist. Okay.
Some issues regarding my vision.
Only this month.
Okay. Have you done the assignment? Okay, have you done? So, glad to see that most of you have something written on the page. But I had one doubt as I went through the class, to be very frank. You know, I saw that most of you have only 4 or 5 paragraphs. And my hunch says that maybe I may be wrong, I may be right. Maybe many of you copied from the same source, I don't know. I need to collect and read. And then only I can tell. If you genuinely wrote the essay yourself, then every second essay will be different. But I was seeing that same words are appearing in every page. Same length, same number of paragraphs, same words. Okay, anyway, even if you copied, it's okay. So, it is a writing for students, and as you can see, this book is for science students, right? Because we are management, so we won't go into the table of content. So you do at the university, right? There are different books for management students, for science students, for humanities students. For example, this book you saw earlier, this one is for mainly for humanities students, right? And yesterday I remember I had shown you another book which was particularly for management students. Okay. So as this book shows, okay, this is, I guess, a significant book, and I'll quickly take you through a journey. As I said yesterday, Stephen Belly is a very prominent writer in this area. He has written many books on academic writing. So as you see the title of the book, one thing you get here is that it is a writing done by mostly by university students, although school students also do academic writing, but at the university you can't avoid it, you have to do it. So if you do not develop academic writing skills right now at bachelor level, then you will suffer a lot when you reach master level, because maybe they won't teach you these things and they will assign you to write. Let me quickly take you through a journey of this book, table of contents simply. I'll quickly take you through and show you what is there in this book and how to understand. So, as we said, academic writing has a purpose, right? It is a different kind of writing from other writing genres, because mainly, as I said, it makes argument, it is rule-based, it is very rigid, it is conventional, there are rules and you have to follow that. For example, regarding margins and all that structure, it has a format, given format. There are books, style books which tell you about the format, right? It has certain features and we are discussing these features in these classes, right? You must write clear sentences, it has clarity. Academic writing requires clarity of expression. You should not use jargon, you should use simple terms, right? Paragraphs are the most important components of academic writing, right? And then the more you practice, the better you write. Those of you who wrote your essay genuinely, you have done something good, but those of you who copied, that's not so good. Okay. Second thing to understand is that why do we do academic writing in the university? Because we often get essay questions. Where do we get essay questions? Mostly in the exam. Exams have essay questions. They say discuss and the question goes. Explain, the question goes. Summarize, the question goes. Elaborate, the question goes. Elucidate. Have you seen there are keywords in every question? And if you understand what the keywords mean, you will know how to write the answer. The question has clear guidance about how to write the answer. So you should ask your teacher to help you with the keywords in questions. Ask your teacher, sir, please show us a couple of questions from previous board exam and help us how to read the questions. Many students don't know how to read the questions in the exam, so they don't know how to write the answers. So then, okay, you have essay questions, you have to plan your writing. You can't write all of a sudden, you need to plan. Like you yesterday made notes, today you wrote the essay. Now if you submit the essay, I'll write comments. Then you will revise, planning, right? So you need to analyze the questions before you write the answer. Your questions may have the keywords, right? There is evaluation criteria. There is a rubric. Rubric is clear points which tell you how you can get more marks and how you will get less marks. Then there is something brainstorming, storming your brain, generating idea. I was watching Dr. Panta's program yesterday, and he said that our brain has the memory equal to 250,000 gigabyte. 250,000 gigabyte memory, right? That's the capacity of a normal brain, right? So you can, if you storm your brain, it can tell you a lot. But if you don't storm your brain, even things you have, you don't remember. Storming means simply bringing memories at the surface so that you can note about them, right? Then you should be aware about essay length, right? For example, your thesis has maybe 50 pages, but exam essays maybe have 1 and 2 pages. You should make outline, like yesterday you made outline based on my lecture, right? And again you have practice. This is a book that has practice in every section, right? The teacher Bailey gives you assignments to practice. Then what is academic writing? It requires a lot of reading. Why do you read? You read to find suitable sources. What are suitable sources? Those books which have ideas and information on the topic you want to write about. So when you decide, I will talk about consumer behavior, So that's a keyword, consumer behavior. You will go to library and you will find books on consumer behavior. Maybe you will find a book on psychology, which of behavior. So you read that. That's the source. And as you read, what do you you can find different types of texts, right? Then you have academic resources. You hold the book in your hand. You have the book in your hand, and you don't read it. You assess the text. Is it relevant for me? Is it useful? You decide. How do you decide that? You read some paragraphs from the introduction. If there is a blurb at the back, you read the blurb. It tells what the book is about, right? If you're reading a research paper, maybe 20 pages, so you want to know, is it useful for me? So you read the abstract. It tells you if it is useful for you, right? Then you make a reading list. You make a list. I'll read these 25 books for my paper. And then you consult the supervisor. You tell, so I have this list, please check, is it okay? The supervisor might add some books or might remove some books if not necessary, right? You go to, we don't do this nowadays manually because we have databases in our laptop or you have libraries on your palm top, right? Then there are websites, abstracts, as I said. If you are reading a journal paper, first read the abstract. The abstract does 4 or 5 things. Number 1, it tells what is the issue of the paper. Second, it talks what is the problem that the paper explores. Third, it talks about what methodology the paper uses. Then it talks about what results the paper found. Then it talks about what recommendation the paper makes. And within this, you do all these 5 things within 150 words. Your paper may have 20 pages, but abstract is single paragraph. It is always one paragraph and not more than 150 words. It's a big challenge to write an abstract. An abstract is like a small window that allows you to have a bigger view. So you always read the abstract first and you will know what is there in the paper, is it useful or not, right? Then again you practice search terms, like because you do a lot of searching. Then, reading strategy, how to read. You must know, if you don't know how to read, you can't write good essays. Because academic essays are based on reading, extensive reading. Okay, now how do you read? You read critically. What is critical reading? As you read, you evaluate. How do you evaluate? For example, you look at the claims writers are making. Are these claims factual? Are these claims acceptable? Are these claims sweeping? Then you ask, is the writer giving reasons to support the claims? Is the writer bringing evidences to support the reasons? Is the writer making qualifications to the claim? Is the writer rebuting counterclaims? Right? You look at these things, and then is the writer giving fact or opinion? Facts may be more important than opinion, right? Then you are on the internet, everything is there. So you assess. How do you assess? Is this coming from .com? Not reliable. Is this coming from .gov? Maybe more reliable. Is it coming from .org? More reliable. Is it coming from .edu something? It is more reliable. Something you get on .com is not reliable, right? It may be uploaded by class 4 child just to make money, and you download your BBA and you read what is class 4 child writes. So be careful when you are reading sources on online. Assess them, judge them, filter them, right? So I talked about domain name suffixes, right? Again, you have, you find the book. Now you have the book. Next, what do? You read and find the key points. As I teach you in this class for a long time, I've been telling you to focus on main idea. Main idea. And note the main idea, right? Note making skills, you should know how to make notes. Even yesterday you made notes. If you do not know how to make effective notes, you are a very poor student, right? So why make notes? Because it helps you develop your essay. Finding key points, how? Focusing on main idea. First sentence or last sentence or in the middle, right? Then relevant points. Your idea should be related with the topic. Suppose you are reading about consumer behavior and the idea is about price rise and fall. Now it is not related or maybe related, you decide, right? Okay, effective note making. If you read this book, all these things are explained in this book. It is not in your course, I'm sorry to say that, but it is very relevant book for you. Okay, then as you start writing, most important thing is avoid plagiarism. How do you avoid? Every time you note something, write book name, author's full name, publisher's full name, year of publication and page number for every single note. If you do not note these things right when you are noting down, later you will be in big trouble because you will not be able to locate where you got this from. And your teacher will say, what is the source? And you don't know. So, what is the key point? Always, whenever you read any book, you pick up the book, note the book's full title, publisher, year of publication, all the writer's full title. So, when you note these things, as I said, you acknowledge source. How do you acknowledge? By in-text citation. You say page number 38 and you write the author's name here. If you don't write author's name, write Upadhyay 38. Or if you write Divakar Upadhyay, then you don't write Upadhyay here, page 38. So you are telling right at the moment that I got this information from Divakar Upadhyay's book, page number 38. You are acknowledging source. So the basic idea to avoid plagiarism is, whenever you write, acknowledge sources. That is called in-text citation. Then I told you what is plagiarism. Okay, degrees of plagiarism, avoiding, I told you that. Okay, now move ahead. As you write your essay, you bring quotations from other books, right? And every time you quote, you give a reference. Not only quote, every time you summarize, give a reference. Every time you paraphrase, give a reference. Every time you bring the gist of a reading, give a reference. Every time you quote, give a reference. These are the 4 ways you bring information in your writing from sources. You can summarize, read 10 pages, write in 2 sentences. You can paraphrase, bring a keyword and explain that. You can tell the gist of the whole book. I read this book according to him in 1 sentence, 200 pages in 1 sentence. Or you can bring a quotation with quotation marks. And in all these things, you give a reference. Giving a reference means, what is the reference? Author's name, publisher, year of publication, page number, all that. There are systems, I told you, reference system for you is APA. For you, reference is APA. Simply go to online libraries and just type APA style book, you will see that. So look, what is academic writing? You read something. Here is your note copy. Here is your book or your screen. You have the book. You are reading this book. So first thing you do is you summarize your reading. Or you might need to paraphrase. If you got a keyword, you need to expand it. In paraphrase, you spend more words to talk about one word. In summary, you brief many words into one word, right? Then there are still summary, there is practice, right? There are techniques for paraphrasing. I'm not going into that. I'm simply letting you have an idea what academic writing looks like. Okay. Contrasting sources, you can compare different ideas, right? Maybe one writer says one thing and another writer says opposite thing, you bring them together and say writer A says this, but writer B says this, therefore I think this. See the synthesis. Writer A says this, writer B says just opposite to this. Therefore, I think, now you bring your opinion. That is called dialogue. That is called conversation research. What is conversation? Just imagine you 20 people in this class are 20 writers, and I am the researcher. So I am reading her ideas. So I am having a conversation with you. Why? Because I sometimes agree with you, sometimes I disagree with you. I say Himani says this, and then I come back to this writer, and I say this writer says this, and the two ideas do not match, and I bring them together, and I try to understand why they disagree. Then if I see that 10 people have Himani's idea and 2 people have her idea, then I'll go with Himani's idea, because more people have Himani's idea. Right? This is how you interact with authors, right? So organizing paragraphs. If you are using laptop and you are working in Microsoft Word, it's very easy to organize paragraphs. Before laptops came, people used to make paragraph cards, small cards. They will write paragraphs and they will punch them and they will sew with thread or something like spiral binding, and they will have cards and they will manage that. But today it's very easy, right? So you should know about paragraph structure. I told you some paragraphs look like this, main idea, detail. Some paragraphs look like this, detail, main idea. Some paragraphs have sandwich structure, detail, main idea, right? Some paragraphs are simple, some are difficult, complex. Okay. So one important thing here is linking paragraphs. P1, P2. There should be a sentence which concludes first paragraph and also hints about second paragraph. That is called straddling sentence. This is straddle. If you stand like this, you are straddling, because you have your 2 legs in 2 spaces. Straddling. You're connecting both of the spaces. Yes? Huh? Go. You should avoid going to washroom in the middle of the class if possible. But if you feel like going, you should ask us. We'll let you go. But we expect you that you come ready for the class, and we expect you to pay attention for at least 60-minute class and listen to us very carefully in a class like this. But if you feel like going to bathroom, washroom, feel free to ask us. I will never ask you that you stay in my class under a pressure. Okay, all right. So I was saying we need to link. We call this coherence. We call this unity, right? You connect like these 2 paragraphs are connected, and this hook is what it is a sentence which summarizes the previous paragraph and hints about the next paragraph. It is difficult to write this sentence. It needs a lot of practice. A single sentence does 2 tasks. One, it summarizes the going paragraph, outgoing paragraph, and it hints about what is coming next paragraph. Sometimes if I got a chance, I will show you real examples of such paragraphs with such sentences. So your essays have a structure. They have introduction section and they have conclusion section. In between they have discussion sections, right? You have opening paragraphs, introduction structure, conclusions, right? And not only that, you have discussion sections. And as you write, so look, those who do not revise their writing are not writers. Those who do not revise, they are not writers. What is revision? Revision can be local and global. What is local revision? In local revision, you focus on every sentence. And when you focus on sentence, you check on spelling, you check grammar, you check punctuation. What is global editing? Global, you look for ideas. You revise ideas, overall ideas. So you edit, right? Proofreading is about mainly the nitty-gritty of the typing, all that, right? So a lot of practice. I wish somebody was so courageous in this book, so inspired, that gets this book and uses it to develop yourself. If you genuinely use this book at home, because it's not in the course, it will give you a lot of information and knowledge. Okay. Then I said that academic writing is mainly argumentative writing. Here you discuss ideas, right? So you use language of discussion, and this book tells you how to use language of discussion. You analyze, you discuss, you make argument, you make counter argument, or you take other people's counter argument, you respond to counter argument. You say something and other people disagree with you, and you respond them why they are wrong and you are right. You bring evidence as you write. So writing types are argument, and you can write cause and effect essays also. Now I will quickly show you types of writing. Problem solution essays, case study. Case study is a real or imagined scenario where you see a problem and you are given a case, a story, you read carefully and identify the problem in that scenario and offer a solution, right? This is done mostly in management. Okay, so then you have literature review. What is literature review? This is let's say a room where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people are on a round table and they are having discussion. They are having discussion, right? And you arrive there. You arrive there. Now you arrive in the room, and when you arrive, there are already 7 people on a round table. They are discussing on a topic. So first you listen to them, what they are talking about. Or you want a space. You want to join them. You want to join them. But you come here, there is too tight, there is no space. So you walk around and you see that, oh, here is a space, and you get into this and you join this space. You sit here and you listen to these people. So you found a space. In the same way, in research, you have to find a space. What is space in research? A problem that other people seem to have ignored. You find a problem that previous researchers are not able to focus on. They are ignoring it. And you say, I'll pick up this problem. Other words for this is like knowledge gap. Something that people don't know and you think you know it and you present. So literature review is done to find a space or to identify a knowledge gap. In your management, there is the word NICHE. How do you pronounce it? NICHE? Niche, you say. What is niche? In business, you have 10 shops, and all these 10 shops are, let's say, hotels here. So there is no bookshop. So you feel that 5,000 people live here, and only hotels are there. Among 5,000, maybe 10%, 500 students here. So you say, oh, if I open a bookshop here, I can sell books. So that's a niche, a possibility of business, a space which you can occupy and do business. In research also we say niche. What is niche? An area of knowledge which is not explored by other people and you want to explore. So we do literature review to find that area, right? Okay, then we have longer papers, as I said, like when you go to 7th semester, you will write longer papers, right? You will write reports. You will write reflective writings, right? Like diaries are mostly reflective writings. The story Dawn and 1982 by Phil Knight in chapter 1 is reflective writing, right? Again, the progress check. Look, Stephen Bailey gives you a practical book, and then you follow the book and go on following, do the exercises, and there is progress check. Progress check A, B, now C. Now writing tool. What is academic writing? Academic writing uses tools. Like earlier you said, there was a word strategy. There are techniques and tools. What are these tools? For example, cohesion. Your writing should fit together. Look here, these two girls, girls and girls, girls and girls, girls and boy. Now, suppose I bring that boy in between the two girls. Now, this will be lack of cohesion. Somebody might have a comment. How come the boy in between the girls? One may have, may not have. My simple point is, what is cohesion? When things look fitting together. is called cohesion. When you think it's okay like that, it's fine like that. In Nepali you say, Kasta na mileko, that's lack of cohesion. Sometimes in Nepali you say, Kasta na mileko, that expression, Kasta na mileko, that is lack of cohesion. But if you say, Kasta chitikka mileko, that's cohesion in writing. In writing that is cohesion. When parts fit together. What is cohesion? Parts fit together, right? So then comparison. In academic writing, you may be comparing a lot, mostly you compare, because in academic writing, you read a lot of books, right? A lot of authors. And you will be comparing what he says with him. You compare and contrast. And then you synthesize. What is synthesis? Synthesis is your idea. And your idea is born out of the comparison of other ideas. You compare what these 8 people say, then you bring your idea, right? We never learn in vacuum. We never learn in vacuum. We always learn in social context, right? We learn by listening to people. So comparison. Then sometimes academic writing may require you to write definitions. Mostly, in academic writing, particularly if you are doing research, early in the very introduction section, you define your key terms. You define your key terms. These are the key terms, right? So then you bring examples in writing. You make general conclusions. Okay, you might also write numbers and graphs like tables, graphs, figures, right, in your report or research paper. You will pay attention to punctuation, very important, because research writing is the example of perfect writing. Academic writing is an example of perfect writing, because academic writing is done by highly educated people at the university. That's why academic writers are paid very high. Researchers are paid in millions. Why are they paid in millions? Have you seen a farmer getting Nobel Prize? Have you heard of farmer getting Nobel Prize? I've never heard. Why only a scientist gets a Nobel Prize? Because they are highly intelligent people, right? So research is, and I was saying this because even a small error of full stop or comma or question mark, any punctuation is not excusable. Your credibility collapses. People do not trust your paper. Okay, then you can read these in the book. Style, right? There is something called academic style. Academic writing uses academic style. Now you ask, so we are management students, what is our style? So you read APA style. I belong to humanities, so I use MLA style. There are guidelines, right? Then part 4. Academic writing uses, look here, lexis. See, this is an academic vocabulary. In common parlance, we'll say words. We'll say words. Words is a vocabulary in day-to-day language, whereas lexis is a very formal vocabulary. Technical term, academic vocabulary, right? Okay. So we have about words, we pay attention to words, right? We use academic vocabulary, academic verbs, prefixes, suffixes, synonyms. That's all. So what I did in this class, I quickly took you through a journey of this table of content of this important book, and help you understand what is academic writing. Now we have some time. I'll go to another book now and hope the other book. Okay. I'll show the book to you and then talk about a good book to begin. If you want to learn from the beginning, it's a good book. Academic writing from paragraph to essay. So academic writing begins with paragraph. When you join academic writing class, we hope you already have basic writing knowledge. So basic writing deals with sentence level. Sentence, writing sentences. In academic writing class, you start with learning from paragraphs and you move on to essays. This is the end of writing, this is the beginning of writing. Essays. There is nothing bigger than essay in academic writing. Even a 400-page PhD dissertation is an essay. It's an extended research essay. We call this researched essay. We call it a researched essay. Your thesis is researched essay. Essay based on research. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Understand, academic writing has a certain context. You do not do academic writing at home. You do at home only when the teacher assigns you. So what is the context? It is done in the academy. It is assigned by a teacher. It is done by a student. It is done under a certain course you are studying. It is evaluated. You are graded for your work. It has audience, research committee, or your teacher. It is not done in the park, or in the shop, or at the restaurant. It has academic context. And academic writing is always born because you are assigned by your teacher to do it. It is always assigned. Teachers assign you. You go to do PhD, they assign you courses. Read this, read this, read this. They assign you writing. Do this, write this, write this, write this. Then they say, write a proposal. You write a proposal. You don't write a proposal unless they say write a proposal. Then you defend the proposal. Then they say, now write the thesis. Every time there is a teacher, there is a supervisor. Time to time you go to him, you show, sir, this is first chapter. He reads the chapter. If he says, okay, then you go for second chapter. Otherwise, you don't go for second chapter. There is always someone's control. Academic writing is under supervision and control of the professors. Okay. Academic writing is a professional writing done in the professions. You are a nurse, you do academic writing. You are an engineer, you do academic writing. You are a manager, you do academic writing. And it is mostly part of education, right? This is a good book. I like this because it was recently published and it tells you what is academic writing now. One thing I know from this title is that, academic writing is contemporary writing. For example, when you do research, your professor will say you, all your sources, should not be older than 10 years. It is 2025. And if you find a book published in 2000, maybe a professor will say, find a recent version, it's too old. Why? Because knowledge older than 10 years may be irrelevant. It's up-to-date writing. It's contemporary writing. It's about now. If you write today, you will consult journals published this year or maybe within 5 years, but not older than 10 years, right? I'm sorry because it's too teacher-centered class and I'm explaining everything. Maybe it will draw your attention. Most of you will take IELTS exam in the future to pursue foreign study centers. So the kind of writing you do in IELTS, that's academic writing. That's why there are two IELTS examinations. IELTS general versus IELTS academic. IELTS academic, IELTS general. So general is taken by those who go for servant work or other non-academic jobs. IELTS academic is taken by those who go to join university. So the kind of writing you do in IELTS, for example, tasks like there are graphs for analyzing or there are problems for solution. They are examples of academic writing. Okay. As you can see here, the title shows you academic writing follows a process. For example, in this class right now we are in first step. What is the purpose of this class? The purpose of this class is collecting information. I am very fast showing information and noting down. Hopefully, I hope you are noting down. If you are not noting anything, it's useless being in my class. If you do not note anything, it's useless being in this class because you are not getting anything, right? Then it's a product. It's a finished final product. You submit your essay, final essay for grading. It is graded. This product is evaluated. This product is graded. You get A, B, C, minus B, A minus, A plus, or I don't know what. You are graded. And you carry that mark sheet throughout life. It matters. If you have C in a subject, you have difficult time in future. If you have A better time. I took exam recently, I got 3.97. I was proud of it. And whenever I show the mark sheet, they respect me because I have very high rank in that degree. It matters, all right? That's why you should work hard. Okay. Academic writing is skill-oriented. It's a skill. What is a skill? A skill is an activity that you can repeat again and again so that you do it smoothly. I have acquired the skill of riding a motorcycle, but I'm not skilled at driving. If you put me behind the wheels, I'll meet with an accident. If you put me behind the handles, I won't meet with an accident because I have the skill of riding. I don't have the skill of driving. So a skill is something you do repeatedly and you become expert. Here you write paragraphs 1,000 times. You revise 100 times. You write 50 essays in a semester. Then you become expert. You write exam essays. You know how to start exam answers, what to write in first paragraph. You know how to answer short answer questions. You know how to answer 8-number questions, last one. Essay answers. Skill. Writing is skill, right? Academic writing is skill oriented. Okay. One more book and then here is a very attractive title. Let's see whether they have useful things. It claims to be a complete guide of academic writing, right? As I was browsing through the online library, I got attracted to this title, a complete guide. I simply want to spend 2 or 3 minutes time exploring its table of content and see what is there in this complete guide. Okay, let's see the chapters. See, academic writing has an occasion, means it is assigned sometime, somewhere by somebody. So the essay you submitted me earlier when I checked your writing, what was the occasion? Occasion was BBIS degree, second semester, month of June, toward the end of the semester classes. Divakar Upadhyay Aryal, the English teacher, assigned to make notes and write the essays, and you submitted. You showed the writing. Occasion. It is an occasion, right? Then it is based on research and it has a topic. See, every time you do a research in future, they will say, what's your topic? You'll be baffled. What's your topic? You don't get the topic out of blue. You have to loop in a lot of practice to get a topic, right? Then it has, you have to make research notebooks, right? You have to write proposals. You first write proposal. You say that I want to do this research and allow me. And they will say, no, it's useless. Everybody knows it. Why should I allow you? You have to convince that this is worth spending time and money. Because research requires time, money, energy. You have to miss your family. You have to miss your spouse. You have to spend money. You have to buy books. You have to buy a laptop, internet. A lot of investment, right? Then you have to know rhetorical moves. What is rhetorical moves? How to persuade your reader. How to argue. You have to write scholarly introductions, right? You have to write paragraphs. Look. Then, what else do we have? Okay. You have to know how to write conclusions, right? Introductions, discussions, conclusions. That's all about this book. We'll stop here for today. In this class, it was a teacher-centered class. I poured a lot of information very fast. It was intended. Because I did 2 things in class. I showed you, maybe I guess, 5+ books. And I particularly took you through the table of content with Stephen Bailey's book. Now, 2 assignments. 1, complete this essay you wrote yesterday, aiding the information you got today, and submit me a 3-page essay tomorrow. By 3 pages, I mean not less than 3 pages, can be more than 3 pages. Assignment 2, you have your course book of academic writing with yellow cover. I have already mailed the soft copy of this book in a mail I mailed 3 months before, on March 20th. Check your mail, there is a book. When you come to class tomorrow, please come with a hard printed copy of the book. Because in tomorrow's class, you will browse the table of content in my presence and you will make note. And I will teach you tomorrow how to read that book. So tomorrow, I repeat, finally with clear words, तपाईले किताब print गरेर printed copy ल्याउनु हुन्छ. I have told you in Nepali, if you don't know English. You will come to class, my class, with a printed hard copy of the prescribed textbook in your course. If you stay without books in class tomorrow, I'll be very angry. I might shout at you. So please do not stay in my class tomorrow without the prescribed textbook. Thank you.